Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. And since 1969, we have been teaching the truth according to the Bible. And what is that truth? That truth is that blacks, Hispanics, and natives, all the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? And tonight we got a heavy topic to get into, and we're going to talk about this brotherhood class once again. I am your priest from the South, you understand, from Alabama. I don't want to use my brother's terminology. I don't want to use his saying. I'm Officer 500 not a shot, you know what I'm saying, checking in from I.S.U.P.K, Alabama. Tonight, we're going to go over the basics of brotherhood. Just kind of talk about some of the basics of brotherhood. Just talk about some of the scriptures and some of the things that the Bible says about how we should be brothers and how we should treat one another and how we should care for one another, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say, Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Shabbat, to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Elathan, by Hashem, Yahweh, Shai, to all the sisters, man. You know what I mean? If y'all have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you got any questions or comments or anything you want to bring out, throw it in the chat. All right? We'll answer your question tonight. You know what I'm saying? And we get to this topic, man. You know what I mean? In the year 2024, man, right now in this time period, in this earth that we in right now, man, there's nothing more important than being a brother. There's nothing more important than loving your sister, loving your brother, loving your people, man. You know what I mean? Because time is short, man. Time is short, man. You understand? You gotta understand that. And for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about something in particular, which is brotherhood. And we talked about how brotherhood requires these things: courage, forgiveness, love for your brother, you know what I mean, understanding, patience. All of that is what's required, you know what I mean, if you're going to be a brother or a sister. You also got to be, and last week we talked about just a more brotherhood, you know what I mean, and how we need to be brothers and how we need to love one another and how to forgive one another and everything like that. And tonight we're going to continue on, man. Just continue on with these basics, man, because it's important to have brotherhood, you know what I mean, it's important to know how to treat your people. You understand what I'm saying like that? So if you have any questions, go and throw them in the chat. We're going to address them tonight. You know what I mean? Tonight, I expect this to be a good class, man. All right. Since we kind of talked about forgiveness last week, we'll pick up on that topic again. You understand? Just to continue this thing here. All right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. We're going to start around verse 22. Matthew chapter 5. We're going to start at verse 22. All right. It's going to get going. It says this: "But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause," you understand? If you're angry at your brother without a reason, if you're angry at your brother without a purpose, you just mad at the brother just because you didn't like he ain't speak to you today, or you mad at your brother because he didn't, you understand, he didn't, I don't know what you be mad at your brother for. You mad at your sister because she stole your recipe, or you mad at your sister because she didn't include you in something, or you mad at your brother because he didn't include you in something. Now, if you mad at your brother for these things, that's without a cause. You understand? The Bible says, "I say to you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment." And what is judgment, you ask? That's a good question. Why don't we go look at our Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary? Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. And let's get the definition of judgment, because we talk about this from time to time. Let's see if we can find the definition of judgment real quick. Y'all bear with me 1 second. We'll try to pull it up real quick. If you don't know the meaning of a word, you always go look it up. Don't be ignorant and continue in ignorance, man. That happens too often in this society as a whole, and it happens too often with us as blacks, Hispanics, natives. We just listen to what the white man tells us that we believe in. instead of actually going to the dictionary. You understand? Going to the dictionary and figuring out the word. So let's go figure out if we can see this word judgment. And what is the Bible? What does the Bible use to say judgment? It's a lot. All right. So this is the judgment. This is the definition of judgment out of the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Mine is on page 459. It says this: referring sometimes to the pronouncing of a formal opinion or decision by men, but more often to a calamity regarded as sent by God by way of punishment, or a sentence of God as the judge of all. So that's the definition of a judgment, right? So he says this again: but I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. So now you mad at your brother. These men are going to make a decision to see if you're right or wrong with that issue. Because if I got an issue with you, I'm going to have to go to counsel. I'm going to go to judgment to see if this is something that we should be right or wrong. You understand? Let's keep going. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, let's go get the definition of Rakah. It ain't going to be difficult. We just turn our pages over. It's like I passed this. I turned too many pages. Let's slow it down a little bit. We're going over here and get this definition for Rakah. Rakah means empty, vain, or worthless fellow. Whoever shall say to his brother Rakah, right, a term of contempt signifying a depreciatory estimate of someone's intellectual endowment. You understand? Shalom, Chukmura. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you, my brother. Yeah. So Rakah means contempt, right? You saying you calling the brother a name, you saying he ain't worth nothing. If you do that, you're gonna be in danger of the council. You understand? And what is a council? Again, it's a council is similar to what so like a council is where men come together to decide on an issue and cast forth or push forth a judgment. All right. We keep going. It says, but whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. All of this is talking about how you treat your brother. All of this is talking about how you mistreat, mishandle, misuse, mistreat, either leave it at that, your brother. All of this talks about that. But what we do so often is we don't think about how we treat our brother. But the Bible says right here clearly that if you mistreat your brother, you talk about your brother, you don't consider your brother valuable. If you look at your brother and you call him all kind of names, even just calling him a name, that's worthy of judgment. That's worthy of hellfire. Just calling him a name. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to back up a verse real quick and give you a little bit of this. Verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill. You understand? In the old times is the Old Testament. Now, you have heard of them say in the Old Testament, thou shalt not kill, right? That's a commandment. You understand? You heard this before. It says, whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. And what is the judgment? If you killed somebody, you would be killed. That's the judgment. If you were to unalive somebody, if you killed somebody, you understand? Now, after this, he talks about this. Like I'm going to read it. It'll break it down for you. Verse 22. But I say unto you that whoever is angry, he says, but I say unto you, even if you forget to kill it, we got to get to the point where you angry with your brother before you even escalate to unaliving your brother, before you escalate to the end of the life of your brother. We got to address with that. And that's what Christ did for us, man. Christ came and showed us how to keep the law more perfectly. Christ showed us how to keep the spirit of the law, man. But what your Christian church and what your Christian pastor does is tell us how we should not keep the law and how we should not worry about that. But what Christ is showing you right here is how to keep this law more perfectly. So instead of worrying about if I unalive my brother, how about I think about what happens when I'm angry with my brother, or when my brother's angry with me? You understand? Let's read it again so you understand it. It says, "But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment." The same judgment you will get if you unalive your brother, that's the same danger of that judgment you will get if you're angry with your brother. That's some heavy stuff right there, man. It continues, it says, and again, we just read it again. Whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, which is read, gave you that definition, shall be in danger of the council. If you call your brother name, mistreating your brother, you mistreating your brother, you're going to be in danger of the council. Because before we even get to unaliving, we are going to address the issue here. We cannot allow these things to escalate and get worse and deteriorate our nation, man. We are, again, I've been telling y'all this, we are a family. And if my brother has an issue with me, he has to bring it up to me. He got to address me and let me know he got an issue with me. Or if I got a problem with my brother, I'm going to my brother and letting him know, hey, bro, I got an issue with you. I'm upset that you've done this thing to me. And if he don't hear me, what do? I go to the council. We go to council. We go before righteous men and get judgment on the issue. Now, if you angry with me for no reason, I might win that council. Or shit, I might lose that council. I don't know. It's in the Lord's hand. But this is what we're talking about, right? That we have to bring up the issue and address the issue at the small level before it gets to the big level. Before we're talking about unalive and ending people's lives, why don't we address it at the small level? Verse 23, therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, if you bring your gift to the altar, you bring your tithes into the church, you bring your money, you bring whatever you got, right? It says, therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest, if you right there at the altar and you remember that thy brother hath aught against thee. If you remember your brother got a problem with you, you remember, oh man, I wronged that dude, man. He said he had an issue with me. I ain't never addressed it. It says, if rememberest that thy brother has aught against thee. Verse 24, leave there thy gift before the altar and go thy way. It said, man, don't even do what you're gonna do. Don't even burn that sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because this is what we're talking about in the Old Testament, right? Or when we was still under that, didn't have Christ as our sacrifice yet, right? So if you bring that, you were gonna do a burnt offering. You was gonna do this with that. You were gonna do this with that gift, or do that with it. Before you even continue to do what you were about to do with that gift, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and rememberest thy brother hath an ought with thee, leave there thy gift before the altar and go thy way. Let it go and go. Don't even worry about your gift no more. Go to your brother. Get up out of there. First be reconciled to thy brother. First be reconciled to thy brother. And then come and offer thy gift. Now you would think that you got this gift and you finna give it to the Most High. You finna give this gift to the Lord. You finna give this gift to the priest. But what is Christ saying right here? Before you even try to give your gift to the Lord, before you even try to give your gift to the priest, he's saying this: go be reconciled with your brother. That's way more important. That's way more important, man. Giving your gift is way more important than, so like being reconciled with your brother is way more important than giving your gift to the Lord, than doing whatever you was going to do, because that's primary. You understand? Of course, we got to love the Lord with all our heart, mind, soul, and our body. But after this, we got to love our brother as ourselves. That's what Christ said. We got to love our brother as ourselves, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So we got to leave our gift and go to our brother, man. Don't matter what you're gonna do. That's why it's so important. It's so heavy and it's so frustrating. I don't want to use the word frustrating. It's so, I don't know. what's going on with Sakar, Sakar and Genesis, man. That's some crazy shit. That's some crazy stuff, man. You know what I mean? For the brother to part ways. And if you heard what old boy was saying, Gorilla Hebrew was saying, how he had sacrificed so much just to be with the brother, just to, you know what I mean, just to stick beside the brother and show brotherhood to him. But what happened is that brother left him and started his own Israelite organization. You know what I mean? Started his own Israelite organization. And all in the spirit of saying, and I'm sure in his mind, he said, man, I'm finna do this. He might be saying, I'm trying to go serve the Lord. I want to do it like this. I want to serve the Lord this way. Or what Christ is saying right here is, boy, you even talk about serving the Lord. If you got an alt with your brother, settle that. Settle that alt you have with your brother first. And then we can get back to this work. That's what's supposed to happen, man. That's real brotherhood. And that real brotherhood you only gonna learn inside the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General YAHANNA. You understand? That's the only place you're gonna learn real brotherhood. If you with these other folks, you with these other people, man, you're gonna learn how to not be a brother. You're gonna learn how to be selfish. You're gonna learn how, if this man mistreat me, I'm gonna let him go and I'm gonna go somewhere else. I ain't gonna stay here and be mistreated. I'm gonna leave. That's so feminine. That's so feminine. That's so feminine, man. For you to say, I don't want to hear it. I'm being mistreated. I'm gonna leave. Instead of addressing the issue. Instead of addressing the issue. What we're supposed to do is address the problem we have. You understand? We gotta address the problem we have with each other, man. Because what you don't know is that the brother may not know he mistreated you. He might did you wrong. He don't know that. So why don't you take it to that brother and say, you know what, brother, you mistreated me, and get the opportunity to get it right. Why don't you give that brother the opportunity to get it right? That's what you should do. Let's go to Matthew chapter 25 and verse 40. Matthew chapter 25 and verse 40. What you don't understand, or what you don't know, is that these brothers and sisters, these so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, are so valuable to the Most High, are so valuable to the Most High, that when you mistreat them, you have basically mistreated Christ. You basically mistreated Christ. And if you're a Christian, believing erroneously, might I add, that Jesus Christ is God, if you mistreat your brother, you are mistreating God by your definition. I'm not sitting here saying that Christ is God, of course not. Of course, I know the scriptures. I know what the Bible says. But I'm using your definition that if you believe Jesus Christ is God, if you mistreat your brother, you mistreat God. Don't believe me, let's read. Instead of starting at verse 39, let's go up a little bit. Let's go up to verse 31. Let's go to verse 31. And of course, you can read all of this at your own time. It's a good story, but we're gonna start at verse 31. This is what the scripture says. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. Right? This is who is the Son of Man? The Son of Man is Yahawashi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You understand? When that man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne in his glory. That's when he's going to become, just a side note, that's when he's going to get his throne, is when Christ comes with all those angels, because he's coming. And if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the world, you are missing out. You are missing out. Because what's happening in the world is showing you that Christ is on his way back. And then Christ's going to crack that sky open. And it's going to be thousands upon thousands of angels coming down with him. And he's going to wreak havoc on this earth. And when he does that, he's going to sit on his throne in all of his glory. Let's keep going, verse 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. You understand? That's what Christ is going to do. He's going to separate the nations, and he's going to, this nation going to go over here, y'all going to go over there, these folks going to go over here, my people, y'all can go over there. He's going to give everybody where they're going to be. He's going to give everybody their place. Keep going. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. Then shall the king come unto them on his right hand, which are the sheep, right? Then shall the king, who is Christ, say unto them on his right hand, which is us, come ye blessed of my Father. Who is his Father? The Most High God. Which shows you there's a separation between the two. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Now he's telling us, let's come into our kingdom. Let's come into our land. Let's go into our space. This is when we're going to get the kingdom. You understand? And then he said, for I was hungry, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. You understand? This is what Christ is saying. When I was hungry, you gave me meat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. What is this? I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. Naked, and ye clothed me. Verse 36. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, stick with me. Remember what I told you when we read about this. We're talking about brotherhood. Verse 37. Then shall the righteous, which are the Israelites, the ones keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When did we see you hungry and thirsty, Lord? When did we do this? You saying we did these things. When did we do these? When did we do this? When did we see you was hungry and gave you food, and saw you naked and gave you clothing, and saw you was thirsty and gave you something to drink? When did we do this? Verse 38. When did we see you as a stranger and welcomed you in and took you? So let me read the scripture. When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, naked and clothed thee? When did we see you and do these things? Verse 39. Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? This is the heavy part, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Now, when you see brothers out here that's not, that's down on their luck, let's say it like that. When you see brothers out here that's down on their luck, that society has mistreated and kicked aside, and don't have what they need to be successful, and don't have enough to feed themselves, or they so oppressed that they, you know what I mean, they need something to drink. They may need a beer or something like that. What you do as a Christian? What you do as a Christian is you look at this man and you look down on him and you shake your head and you give him nothing. And you call him fool. You call him a cop. You call him homeless. You call him a bum. That's what you do. That's what you do. As a Christian, that's what you do. You see these brothers out here that need and don't have, and you look at them and you call them a name. And you call them these things. And you're angry at him without cause. You angry at this brother without cause, man. You angry because he needs money. You angry because he don't have what he needs to get by. You angry because he's not as clean as you would like. You angry with your brother without cause. You are in danger of the judgment. You are in danger of hellfire. Ye are in danger of the council because you did these things. But because the righteous, which are the men inside the I.S.U.P.K, the men and brothers, it's like men and women inside the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, because we feed these brothers, because we welcome these brothers in and take these brothers in, and when we visit them as they sick or help them out when they need, because we do that, Christ said that we are what we say, that we've done it to the least, we've done it unto him. So that's why it's so important that you look out for your people, man. Because you looking at this brother as a bum, you looking at this sister as a bum, you looking at these people coming into America as immigrants, and you are upset at them without cause. You mad at these Haitians and mad at these so-called. Let me say this. Hey, Truman Rod, let me know, man. Hey, throw in the chat, in the comment, man, if the video chopping, man. Try to check it out real quick. Let's see. Throw in the chat, in the comment, man, if the video chopping, man. Oh, they took that. Because in, when we visit them because they sick, and we help them out what they need. Universal medical knowledge. Because we feed these brothers. Because we welcome you. Most High Christ. Hey, the water, truth. I just want to check it out real quick. Yeah, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. Because you look at these brothers and you call them bums, and you call them homeless, and you see these migrants coming in, these Haitians coming in, these Levites coming in, these Israelites coming in. You want to look at them and be mad that the government is giving them. You know different than these oppressors. These oppressors look at them and say that they're not worthy of the money that they give. They're not worthy of protection. They're not worthy of a safe harbor. They're not worthy to come into America and get the things that they need to survive and get out of a terrible situation. But because you don't do that, because you reject them, and because you say that they're not worthy of a home, they're not worthy to be taken in, because they're not worthy to be fed, Christ said, this is what you've done to me. That's what he said you've done to me. You understand? Let's read it again. Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, if you've done it to the least of these, man, that's who we're talking about right now. We're talking about the ones that are considered least in our society, the ones that are considered to be the worst, the ones that are considered to be rejected and downtrodden and yeah, I mean, these are the ones that people don't love. They hate, because America hates these people. When you feed these folks, when you clothe these folks, when you give love to these, and I ain't talking about all, because I ain't worried about the Ukrainians. I ain't worried about the, you know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about the Russians that may be coming over here, the Chinese, man. I ain't worried about them. I'm talking about for the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, the Haitians, Dominicans, Nicaraguans, the Mexicans, the 12 tribes of Israel. When they come over into this land and we give them food and clothing, we're doing it unto Christ. Those are the ones that Christ is saying that if you've done it to the least of these, you've done it unto me. That's when you fed and clothed them. That's when you saw them. That's when you saw them sick and hungry, and you did, and you took care of them. That's when you did it unto Christ. Verse 41. Let's keep going on this. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand. Remember, on the left hand, it was the goats. You know what I mean? These was the goats. These are your Christian pastors, right? Because remember, he said he took the nations. He took all the nations. He separated everybody. He said, all right, the Chinaman going over here, the Chinks going over there, the Jabshah going over there, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, y'all Hamites, y'all going over here, these folks going over there. And he took the sheep, put them on his right hand, and the goats, put them on the left hand. Who is the goats? The goats is your Christian pastor. The goats is you if you hate your brother. The ones that say you don't have to keep the law, statute, commandment. The ones that say you don't have to love your brother. The ones that say you celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and you know what I mean? I know you're going to celebrate Halloween. You is the goats. You understand? If you black, Hispanic, and native and don't keep the law, statute, commandments, you goat. And let's read about you. Verse 41, from the top. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, talking about y'all, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. So you can't say all Israel is going to be saved. All Israel ain't going to be saved. Some of y'all going to be burnt up with the rest of them. You understand? Some of y'all going to be burnt up with the rest of them. You understand? He said, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Now, who is the devil? You think that devil is the red man. You think the devil is the red man under the earth with the pitchforks in his hand and the horns coming out his head and tail, and he's down in hell right now. That's not the devil. That's not who the devil is. The devil is the white man, the devil is the white man that walks on this earth. The devil is your best friend that you go shopping with on Thursday afternoons, nigga. That's that white man that you do that, or that white woman that you do that with, that white child that you do that with, is the devil. You understand? And he is the greatest deceiver that walks this earth. He is the devil that the Bible speaks of. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? So don't think that the devil is some being under the ground right now. That's not who the devil is. That's not who's deceiving the whole earth right now. The one that's deceiving the whole earth and put our ancestors in chains and oppressed our people to this day is the white man. He's the devil. And let's read it again. I just right there at the end. What Christ said then, it says, "Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels." Who are his angels, his messengers, his helpers, the ones that carry out his wrongdoing, the one that carry out his misdeeds. Your Christian pastor is his messenger. He is his angel. Understand? Because he carries out the thing, the misdoings. He carries he carries out the orders that these oppressors put out on us, man. Understand? That's who he is. Verse 42. "For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not." Verse 44. "Then shall they also answer." They're going to also respond back to Christ. They're going to say, then shall they answer unto him, saying, they're going to talk about Christ, saying, hold on, Christ. Hold on. They're going to say, they got to respond. They got to say something. They don't want to go in the everlasting fire. They got to say something. Somehow. "Then shall they answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hunger? When did we see you hunger? When did we see you?" Because that's what your Christian pastor saying right now. That's what your Christian, what they call him with the white gloves, Mariah? Damn, what they call him, bro? The white glove, the usher. When your usher, this is what your usher saying right now. You know what I mean? "When saw we thee and hungered, or thirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee?" When did we see you like this and we ain't minister unto you? When did we see you like this? Didn't do that for you, Christ? We ain't seen you. This is the first time seeing you, Christ. That's what they're saying. Verse 45. "Then shall he answer unto them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did not to one of the least of these, ye did it not unto me." Damn, that's heavy. That's heavy, boy. That's heavy. Because when you see, I'm telling you, bro, because how many times when we out in these streets doing what we do, we see these bums out in the streets that you call bums, right? I'm not trying to call them a bum, but I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to set the stage for you. How many times you see a brother down on his luck on the corner and you just walk past and don't do nothing for him? How many times you see somebody down on their luck and they're like, "I need a couple dollars, man. I just need a couple. Man, can I hold $5? Can I get something to eat? I need to get something to eat. I'm hungry, man. What can I do, man? Can I get something about you?" This is what they do, man. But what do you do when you hear that? What do you do when you hear that, man? What do you do? Do you say, "Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. Here, bro. I'm gonna get I'm gonna give you $10, man. I'm gonna see if I can get $10 real quick. I'm gonna give it back to you." Or do you say, "Man, I ain't finna get this nigga nothing, man. He just won't get off on me. He finna go smoke it up. He finna go drink it up. He finna go do this." That's all he gonna do with it. How many times are you gonna pass that brother by and not give him nothing, man? How many times are you gonna pass that brother by and not give that brother something, man? You gotta give your brother something, man. They got to have it, man. They need it. And even then, even if they don't need it, like even if, look, I gave a brother, and again, I hate to say this because I'm not trying to blow it up, man, but I'm just using it as a teaching tool. So I ain't even say it. I'd say it like this. Say you give a brother some money, right? You see a brother like you at Burger King or something like that, right? And a brother needs some money. He's like, man, let me get some money, whatever, right? You know you need some money. And you do give him the money. Say you give him the money. And then he takes that money. He goes inside the store and then he quickly comes out the store and he goes somewhere else. And say he does go smoke up there. Are you responsible for that? You responsible for that because you gave it to him? Or is he responsible for his action? The brother gonna be responsible for that action, man. That brother gonna be responsible for his own actions, man. You're not being held accountable for it. You didn't smoke the weed, did you? You didn't smoke the crack, did you? You didn't do the drugs. He did that. He gotta pay for that. You just helping your brother. And that's what the scripture is telling you. You're supposed to help your brother. Now, if you're helping your brother, then you're doing the right thing. But what we do so often is we find excuses to not help the brother and not be a brother and not, what do you say, and not do unto the least of them. You understand? Let me try this. I'm trying to find out. In as much as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, ye have done it unto me. That's what happens. So when you see your brothers down in their luck, you should find a way to help that brother out. Find a way to give that brother what he needs. Because that's what we get to do. That brother is in your path for a reason, for your help. Now, let's take it to the next level. Let's take it to the next level. Everybody down in their luck. Everybody's not a bum, as you say, right? I hate to say that word because I hate to do that. But everybody's not down on their luck. Everybody doesn't need your help. However, and I'm talking about financial. However, they still need you for something. They might need you for something. They might need your forgiveness. Maybe they wronged you and you got to forgive them. Huh? And as much as you have done it to the least of these, you have done it unto me. So if that brother needs forgiveness, forgive that brother. And Christ's going to give it back to you. You understand? If you forgive your brother, that's just like forgiving. I ain't going to say forgive Christ. I ain't going to go that far with you. But that's the spirit that they're in right here. You know what I'm saying? Because we all need it, man. We all need that forgiveness. We all need that understanding. We all need that patience, man. Somebody's done you wrong, be patient with that brother. Because we all need the patience. If somebody mistreated you, be patient with that brother, man. Sometimes you got to take the wrong just to continue to let this brotherhood flourish and let this brotherhood thrive. It ain't always going to be right, man. It ain't always going to be right. Sometimes you're going to have to take that wrong. Sometimes you're going to have to be the wrong one. Sometimes you're going to have to be the wrong one. You understand? To let brotherhood flourish and let brotherhood continue. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about here, man. It's talking about how do we let this brotherhood continue. You know what I'm saying? Because in these last days, we're going to need brothers. We're going to need brotherhood. We're going to need each other. In these last days, we're going to need each other. Time is short, man. Time is short and it's running out. And if you don't understand how we're going to need each other in these last days, you're going to quickly understand how. And you're going to want to figure this out before it's too late. I pray you understand that. All right. Oh, boom, 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 boom. That did that. Let's see. I think there's the other one I wanted real quick. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to make sure I got the right scripture here. Y'all got any questions or comments, feel free to throw them in the chat. Y'all trooping around here rocking out with me, man. Appreciate it, warrior. Appreciate you there, trooper. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll read this one. Actually, yeah, we'll read this one real quick. Matthew chapter 12, we're going to start at verse 29. Matthew chapter 12, we're going to start at verse 29. Oh, slide. Mark chapter 12. Slide. Mark chapter 12, start at verse 29. Mark chapter 12, starting at verse 29. Mark 12 and 39, 29. Trying to get a second get there. Mark 12, 29. All right, this is what it said. And Yahweh answered him. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, this is the first of all commandments. This is the number one commandment. This is the first commandment of all. The first of all the commandments is, hear, O Lord, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. What is it? Shema Yasha Yah. That's the creed right there. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. That's the first commandment. Verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. We just talked about this. And with all thy soul. Where's your heart? Your heart is here, or is your heart here? This is where your heart is. Love the Lord with all thy heart and with all thy soul, right? With everything, every fiber of your being, with all thy mind, with all thy strength. You gotta love the Lord with every fiber of your being. This is the first commandment. This is the first commandment. Verse 31. And the second is like, namely this. The second is like, just as important as you hearing the Most High God is one Lord, and we're supposed to love him with all our fiber, every single ounce of our being. We got to revere and love the Lord. We got to love the Lord. I say it like that. Like, I don't want y'all saying I'm bad. We got to love the Lord with every fiber of our being, right? Verse 31, and the second is this, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. Man, this is so heavy, man. It's so heavy, man. Like, you got to love the Lord with every fiber of your being, right? We know this. This is known. This is not news. You learn this in the Christian church. You're supposed to love the Lord thy God. You're supposed to love him. You learn that in Christianity. But what you don't learn in Christianity is that loving your brother is as equally important, man. If you don't love your brother, if you don't love your sister, how can you love the Lord? The scripture says, how can you love me who you have not seen? So, like, how can you hate your brother whom you have seen and love me whom you have not seen? You can't do it. I'm paraphrasing, of course. You can't do it. You have to do both. You have to do both. They are not mutually independent. You cannot love your brother and not love the Most High, and you cannot love the Most High and not love your brother. If you say you serve the Lord and you say you love the Lord, you gotta love your brother. You gotta love your sister. This is how important this thing is, man. This is how important it is, man, that we love each other, that we love our brother and love our sisters, man. You know what I mean? And again, the scripture here says thy neighbor, right? So I'm sure you would assume that your neighbor is your next door neighbor. But if you were in the spirit of this thing, you would understand that your neighbor is your people, because Israel doesn't dwell with other people. Israel is supposed to be living with other nations. We're only supposed to live with us. Now, even if you go into Egypt, when we were in bondage, when we were living in Egypt, we had our own little land that we lived in, and we stayed there together as a family because we are a family. And what does a family do? They live together. That's what we're supposed to do. Now, who is your neighbor? Your neighbor is your brother or sister, your fellow black Hispanic or native. That's your brother. That's your sister. That's your neighbor. You know, this oppressor, even though he may live next to you, is not your neighbor. Even though these Hamites may live next to you, they are not your brothers. What they say? No, this ain't even about what they say. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Just because these Hamites look like us, just because these Africans look like us, does not mean they are us. These are two different people. We are not the same. Don't believe me. Have a conversation with one of them, and you will learn very quickly that we are not the same. Period. All right. I think that's all I want to go there. Let's go. Let's drop that. Let's go to 1 John chapter 4. 1 John chapter 4. Y'all know where I'm headed to. I gave it away. I gave it away. 1 John chapter 4. Let's go up to, let's see, I'm trying to make sure I'm not going over time here. 1 John chapter 4, we're going to start about verse 16. 1 John chapter 4, we're going to start at verse 16, and we're going to read it on down. You know, I like to get the context of these scriptures, because the context is so heavy, Trooper Rod. This context is so heavy, man. Like, once you get that context of these scriptures, it's like it makes more sense. You know what I mean? You get the spirit of what's going on, and you can understand what's going on. You know what I mean? That's what I like reading above and below. You know what I mean? Get that context. All right. 1 John chapter 4, we're going to start about verse 16. Let's go, we'll go to verse 15. Verse 15. John, 1 John chapter 4, verse 15. It's like, and it says this: whosoever shall confess that Jesus, YAHANNA, is the Son of God, God dwelleth in him, and he in God. And we have known, like, it's like, so what does that mean to confess? It's like, let me break that down. It's like, whosoever shall confess that YAHANNA is the Son of God, whoever shall confess, you know what I mean? You confess it with your mouth, you confess it with your life, that YAHANNA is the Son of God, that he is the power that God has put here. You understand? He is the one that God, that the Most High has put in that seat. That God dwells in him, right? That the Lord is with him, you know what I'm saying? And he is with the Lord. They are on the same page. If you got to confess that with your life, you understand? Now, and I was in the Christian church, they always said, you got to just say it. You got to say it. You got to, if you don't say it, do you believe that Jesus Christ is what do you say? Do you believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God? And then right before you say that, say yes, then you get baptized. You ain't confessed him with your life, no. You ain't kept the law. You ain't kept nothing that he said to do. You're just saying that I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. You understand? I think that's what they say. I don't remember. I got to go back and think about that. But we had to make that confession in the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? If we made that confession in the Church of Christ, at least. In the Church of Christ, and I'm finna go into the Church of Christ. Y'all just bear with me. We're gonna cut it to these folks. This is gonna be a good one. But when I was in the Church of Christ, they used to make sure you had to confess it with your mouth. They never said you had to confess it with your life. But what I'm telling you right here today is that you must confess Christ with your life. And how you do that? By doing what he told you to do. By doing what he told us to do. And that's keep these laws, statutes, commandments, and love your brother. That's what he did. And that's what he taught us. And if you're going to confess Christ with your life, you must do what he told you to do. Understand? Let's keep going. Verse 16. Try to wrap it up. And we have known and believe the love that God hath to us. God is love. And he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in him. You understand? If you love your brother, then God dwells in you. If you love your sister, God dwells in you. If you don't love your sister, you don't love your brother, the Lord ain't with you. He's not dwelling in you. It's very simple. Don't make it so emotional. Look, I was watching a video about how Christian pastor saying that have we ever given God, I don't know if you could, but you couldn't. And then we're supposed to give God an orgasm. Man, that was crazy. That was crazy. We're supposed to give God an orgasm? Nigga, you tripping. You tripping. What are you talking about? That's why you can't listen to these Christian pastors, man. These Christian pastors just put words together that make them sound good and y'all just swoon over. Y'all, oh man, he right. He said it. It was what they said. They was like it said. Ruth and Moab was in a homosexual relationship. Nigga, you tripping? What you talking about? These folks don't know what they're talking about. These folks don't understand the Bible, man. But they put words together well, and they make you think they know what they're talking about. These folks don't know what they're talking about. The Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander Journey want to know what we're talking about. And these scriptures profess it. These folks don't profess it. They don't confess Christ with their life. They confess Christ with their mouth. Their hearts are far from it. Let's keep it. Salah got carried away. Verse 17. Herein our love made, herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. This is how our love is made perfected. Because it says on judgment day, we will be in that day of judgment. I say it like that. I don't want to say it like the Christian church. In that day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. Just as Christ was. That's how we are. We are going to be like Christ. It says, be ye perfect. We're supposed to be perfect. But your Christian pastor says you can't be perfect. Never mind that. Let's keep going. Verse 18. There's no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. You understand? There's no fear in love. Ain't no fear in loving your brother, man. When you loving your brother, you have nothing to worry about. You got nothing to worry about. Keep going. Because fear hateth torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. Verse 19. We love him, Christ, because he first loved us. You understand? Verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, if you love the most, you say you love God, that's what you say. You love God, but you hate your brother. If you love God and you hate your brother, you are a liar. Let that sizzle in your spirit. If you say you love God, but you hate your brother, you are a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? How you do that? We just talked about this a second ago. How you gonna say you love the Lord, but you ain't never seen him before? You ain't never seen God. How you gonna say you love him, but your brother right here? You say you, but you know what I mean? Read it again. If a man say, I love God and hate his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? You don't love God. You hate God. If you hate your brother, you hate God. That's what's going on right now. Because you ain't seen God, but you see your brother. Now Christ said, you see the Lord, you're going to hate him too. You're going to hate him too. Because he is somebody you haven't seen. You understand? Verse 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he also, that he who loves God love his brother also. We got to love our brothers, man. That's the whole point of this class, man. That's the whole point of me sitting here and talking to y'all tonight. It's trying to encourage you and show you that the Holy Bible that you have at your house, that your granny has in her car, it's like that your granny has in her house, that you have in the backseat of your car, that you throw around in your trunk, tells you that you're supposed to love your brother. It tells you you're supposed to love your brother. It tells you that we're supposed to treat one another right. And we got to treat one another just as much, just as well as we try to treat God. If you say you love God, you have to also love your brother. They are one and the same. And that's what we try to teach you tonight, man. That's what we try to teach you tonight, man. I'm going to read this right here real quick. 1 John chapter 4, it's like 1 John chapter 5, verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, which are the Israelites, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. That's the whole point of life, Ike. That's the whole point of life, family, is that we love the Most High with all our heart, all our mind, all our soul. And we love our brother as ourselves. Love your sister as yourself and keep these commandments. That's the whole thing about life, man. That's the whole thing about life, man. Life ain't got nothing else to do with it other than loving the Lord, loving your brother, keeping the commandments. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, man. You ain't got to do nothing else, man. You ain't got to do nothing else, man. Love the Lord, love your brother and sister, keep the commandments. You do that, you're gonna be straight. You do that, you're gonna be straight. You ain't got nothing to worry about. You ain't got to worry about corona. You ain't got to worry about. You ain't got to worry about the coronavirus. You ain't got to worry about dying from AIDS. You got to worry about dying from. Losing your life to gun violence. You don't have to worry about losing your life to STDs. You don't have to worry about. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about being put on child support. You don't have to worry about that. If you love the Lord, love your brother and sister, keep these commandments. Because the Bible says a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. If you are with a wicked woman, you got to look at yourself. I just put that in there. That wasn't part of the class. That was free right there. Put that in. You take that to the crib. That's a freebie right there. This nigga wilder. It's like I had a comment here. We got to definitely leave that comment. Yeah. So that's what it is, man. I don't know if I got any questions or comments, man. Feel free to throw your questions in. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna get the security announcements up. We're gonna read the security announcements. Y'all got any questions or comments? Y'all got anything to say? Anything to add? You know what I mean? Feel free. Other than that, like I said, I'm gonna get these security announcements up and we'll close the class out. Boom, 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 boom. So no questions. So let's go and get to it. These are the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, their brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, so make sure you pay your tithes. That's one of the 3 things you must do. Numbers 18:21, Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 10. This means a tenth in the Hebrew, or ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give it to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund is a free will offering for priests. Not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the Day of Atonement coming up. Set your minds on that. Get your minds ready for that. The Day of Atonement is coming up Friday night at sundown. It starts Friday night at sundown. We will be eating no food. We will be drinking no water. For every able-bodied person, we must eat no food or drink no water. We must afflict our souls on the Day of Atonement. And that's how we do that, by not eating any food or any water, not drinking any water. Every able-bodied Israelite must do this. Sundown, February. It's like sundown this Friday to sundown Saturday. All right? If anybody wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, we're going to say I.M.A.D.I.M, which means to stand. Go give a courteous salute to the brothers online. The Israelite Majum. Majum Jabbat. Majum. Rock. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham. Yadi Matah, which means hands down. Give a courteous salute to the sisters online and the Israelite Majum. Majum Sabat. Majum. Rock. Yahweh Shamar Thun by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Matah, class dismissed.